तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू बढ़ता
We can start with your introduction
Yes,
and
yes.
how you got the motivation to be in the armed forces and how you went about your SSBs. Yes, please start.
So, like starting with the basic introduction, as you told, my name is Rohit Kumar Shairawat, and I've done my schooling from APS Dholakmo. Uh, so, almost 7-8 years of my life, I was in that school. Then later on, I did my graduation in B Pharmacy from Delhi Institute of Pharmaceutical Science and Research. As far as the motivation for the forces is concerned, this is our fourth generation in forces. So definitely there was no like lack of motivation on that part. Uh, so basically, initially I was more of interested in the medical field. From that, I moved on to the defense, like thinking that initially I'll join in as a doctor, but that could not happen due to certain reasons. So after that, I thought that, okay, let's clear the CDS exam and FCAT. And I also found out that you can give SSBs through NCC as well. So I joined NCC as well from that part. So my first attempt was through AFCAT and entry, and this was my second attempt through NCC entry. Unfortunately or fortunately, I haven't been able to give my SSBs that have been coming through CDS exam, neither for IMA nor for OTA. And I think most of the reasons have been through luck only. Even though I've cleared the exams, but I haven't been able to give them.
Luck is one factor. Hard work is
Yeah.
also another factor. Please tell us what all efforts did you put in to get through this
Regarding the SSB, ma'am?
SSB?
So, like initially, after my first attempt that I'd given, I was pretty much clear that what mistakes I've made and what all improvements I need to do. But I was following NFA from almost 1 year. So I thought of joining NFA at that time and gave an interview to Colonel Nehru sir. So he pinpointed certain points that, okay, you can work on these areas. And although after that interview, he told me that you're fit to get recommended, there are no major faults that you need to work on. So that was one thing also, since my brother was already serving and he has also got recommended. So I talked to him as well that what are the points that you would like to add. So he also told me that you have the potential to do it, just don't get nervous over there. So those were the things that I was following. Regarding the written examinations, I think I have been very lucky on my competitive examinations part. And also since I've been like from medical side, so I was academically pretty bright from my childhood. CDS was something because GK was very familiar with me. Maths was something that definitely I had to work on because I haven't touched that part since 7-8 years. So I had to work on maths. For that, I was taking help of YouTube and certain other channels. That was it regarding my written part. And SSB, no specific preparations went in. I was physically fit and no problems regarding my communication skills whatsoever. So that was it, like no specific preparations regarding SSB. Yeah, I had to like familiarize myself about the process properly, but nothing major other than that.
So tell us from starting, how was the screening, psychology?
Yeah, so we were to report on 18th September. So around 274 people had reported on that day. And after that, the usual document verification and all that went. So a couple of them got out, around 10, 11 people got out there. After that, our OIR was done. OIR, I would say the first set that was given to us it was pretty easy because I had done the same OIR in my AFCAT entry as well. So it was almost like I remembered the answers, so didn't took much time. Second set was a bit tricky. All of us felt that way, that yes, it is a bit tricky and it took some time to do it, but I was comfortable enough, like I was able to do that well enough in time. After that,
wait a minute. Let us know which entry was this and which attempt was this.
This was my second attempt and this was NCC entry.
NCC entry. Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so after that, we were taken for our PPDT. PPDT was the actual problem with Allahabad board is that the hall is very, very big. and my chest number was 223. So I was way far back. So I was not able to see the picture clearly at that time, even though the screen was pretty big, but since it was already a blur picture and the distance also came in, so it became a problem. But somehow I did that 15-20 seconds. It took me to figure out what the picture was or what can it be according to my perception. Then after that, we had written our stories, and then we were like divided into groups of 20 each. So after that, the usual narration and the GD part, definitely there was fish market in the initial part. So we were divided into a group of 10 each. There was no common conclusion on which we were able to come at. Because sir had also figured out at that time that these people will not come to a conclusion at the end. So he abruptly just stopped us and told us that, okay, I have understood your point and this is all that you want to give. After that, the results were announced and 25 of us got screened in. The screening part was actually pretty funny for me because since like my chest number was called out last, 223. So there were other two chest numbers as well, that was 228 and 229. So there was some confusion regarding the printing part, that which chest number is it actually? Is it 228 or 229 or 223? What is it? So like initially the numbers were called out 228 and 229. You guys wait, we'll clarify and then we'll let you know. So I was like, okay, done. Tickets are confirmed. Let's go back home because the name was not called out till that point. So later on, he just called out my name, that who is Rohit Kumar and what is your roll number and date of birth. So he was like, okay, it is actually 223 and not 228 and 229. You guys can leave, 223 isn't. So that was my screening part. After that, the usual documentation process took place and like it went on till pretty late, around 7-8 in the evening. After that, like we were allotted our rooms and the usual process went ahead. Next day was our psychology. Psychology, I think the TAT part was pretty comfortable because this time I had no pressure whatsoever because I was like, this is NCC entry. Even if you get screened in, it's a bonus. I was going ahead with that mindset this time. So once the TAT was pretty normal pictures were there, except for one or two. Other pictures I was able to finish within 3 minutes, 30 seconds, not more than that. From after that, we were the VAT part. VAT I was able to do 60 pretty comfortably, but I was not satisfied with the kind of sentences that I had written because I thought I could have written better sentence at that point. Then regarding the SRTs, I was only able to do 33 SRTs. I was not at all satisfied with that part, that no, this is a blunder that I've made at this point, but I was not worrying about it because anyway, it was not in my hand. Regarding the SGT part, I was able to write it very comfortably. In 10-12 minutes, it was done. It was not a major task. So after my psychology test was done, I thought that, okay, whatever has been done, it has been done. Now I cannot do anything on this thing. So let's just go ahead. The same thinking was going on that you got screened in, it's a bonus. Let's enjoy this process. Let's see what will happen. So next day we had our GTOs and interviews were scheduled like whosoever had the interviews. So in GTO, the first thing was our GD. So we were divided, we were 7 people in a group from chest number 18 to 25, we were there. So it was a very normal discussion. The topics were, 2 topics were there. First one was regarding Taliban, that after the Taliban incident has happened, what are going to be the major impact? Either it is going to be a strategic one, or it is going to be a trade one, or it is going to be a security risk. So these 3 top subheadings were given to us. Discussion went on pretty comfortably. I was able to give good points regarding that because I was good with international affairs. So that was a pretty comfortable thing for me. Second topic was that the fitness of youth. What are the factors that are responsible for the lack of fitness in youth? So the points that were given were, one of them was infrastructure, second was parental pressure, and third was the academic pressure. And one point, I think another one was, the social media sites. The social media sites point was also there. So we had a good discussion on that as well. It went on for around 10-15 minutes. There was no fish market. Everyone was able to give their points comfortably. Then after that, we had our GP. GP, since I had practiced that in NFA multiple times, so it was almost like a cakewalk for me. I was able to write my solution within time. In 10 minutes, it was pretty comfortably written. And we had a good discussion. So we had nominated chest number 21 to give the common story. I had realized this part that you do not have to nominate yourself unless the group is nominating you, because I had made that mistake in my first attempt in my FCAT entry. So we all nominated chest number 21, and he gave a very good solution. And so sir asked us later on that, is there anything that you would like to add? So he had missed a point and I added that. After that, we had our PGT. PGT was, since all of us were repeaters, so definitely initially when it started, it became a bit of a ruckus at that point, but later on it went smoothly. I was able to give solutions pretty easily. I think I'm naturally good with PGT, so I do not face any problems that what are the solutions that can be given, or my mind doesn't shut down at that point. So PGT went on pretty comfortably. We were able to do that well in time. After that, we had our half group task. Half group task also went on pretty comfortably. After that, we had our snake race. Snake race was, I think, this was new to me, because in FCAT entry, snake race is usually not done, at least during the COVID times. So that was new for me, and I think that was one of the best tasks that can be there in the overall GTO process, because the kind of fun that people have at that time, there is no other fun there. Then we had our lecturettes. Lecturette was also something which was very funny for me, because out of the 4 topics, I knew all the 4 topics, but that created a problem that I had to choose now, that which topic I will choose. So our first topic was internet. Second was collision party, collision party system versus single party system. And third one was bricks, and fourth one I do not remember right now. So for the first 15-20 seconds, I prepared on collision party versus single party system. But I was not satisfied. I thought that there is not enough material, so I should take on another topic. Then I prepared on internet. But then I thought that no, internet is too basic. I can also speak on bricks part. So while I was handing over my card to GTO sir, I decided that, okay, the final thing will be, the final lecture will be on bricks. So since I was good with general knowledge, so it was not a very huge problem for me. I was able to manage my time pretty well. In 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 35 seconds, I'd finished that part, and I'd given pretty much all the information that was required that time. So that was for the first day of our GTO. Second day of our GTO, we had 3 tasks. That was the individual obstacles, the command task, and our final group task. Individual obstacles, I was able to do 9 out of 10. I got stuck on one. Others were done pretty much well in time, around 2 minutes. All of them were done, but on one I just got stuck. It was some balancing brain, and I was not able to do that part. After that, it was our command task that sir called us and took a small interview. Like, he asked me about my family and all, and what motivated you to join the forces, and what was the reason you were rejected last time. So I told him all that part, and then my command task was done. In command task, another thing happened that the 3 ways were given. 3 tracks were there. So the track that I chose, as soon as I started putting my plank and all that, GTOs had decided that, okay, you have already made 3 mistakes. You have made 3 fouls, so I'll give you a penalty. So I was not able to understand at that point that what are the fouls that I've made here, because I have not even yet started to put the planks properly, and not even, only one of us has gone ahead, and he was standing at the white spot. So we cannot do anything at that time. So sir told us, okay, now you'll have to shift the track and you go on to the other track now. Now you give me the solutions regarding that part. So it was pretty normal for me at that also, because all 3 tracks I was pretty comfortable. But the third one that sir gave, it kind of became much more easier for me, because the plank and bully, all of them were fitting pretty easily. I could directly see the spots where I can fit them. Command task was done comfortably well within time. He was creating, GTO was creating pressure, but that is where you have to take control of your nerves. Then finally, it was our final group task. It was done pretty normally, pretty comfortably, and there was not even 5 minutes it took to complete the solution. Then since my interview was left, so all those who had the interviews left, they were sent immediately that, okay, you have your interviews, go and get ready for them. So I had enough time, so I changed and then went for my interview. I would say that I would also not say it was entirely my PIQ. It was a mixture of, I would say, my family part and what all decisions that I had taken in my life regarding my drop, and how did you became over 100 kgs, and like how did you came back from that part. So my interview was one point, sir also realized that he's a very adamant person, and he will stick with his answers whatever he has. He will give the like, he's a very straightforward person, whatever the reasons were, he will give it very straightforward. So my interview went on for around 1 hour, 3-4 minutes. So my questions that were asked were regarding my drop, my education, my family. Then like around 5 to 10 minutes were spent on my brother as well. That, okay, so yeah, your brother is already in army. So what all is there and how he motivated you? So I told him that, sir, he has been the Sword of Honor and gold medalist. So that was a major boost for me when I attended his POP and all. So that changed the entire thing. So I told him all those things. So sir then came back to the questions like, how did you got over 100 kgs? So I told him, sir, that I used to eat a lot, sir. So he was like, no, what was that you were eating that you got over 100 kgs? It is a huge problem. So I told him that 25-30 chapatis a day was normal for me, sir. So he was not satisfied. So around 5-10 minutes, he kept on asking me, what were the reasons? But I told him, sir, these are the reasons. I used to eat a lot. It used to act as a stress buster for me. And that was the only reason that I could come up. So then he moved on to my drop, that why did you drop for 2 years? So I told him that since I was interested in joining as a doctor initially, so I dropped for 2 years regarding my medical entrance examinations. I had qualified those examinations, but I was not able to join because of certain other reasons. So I told him, so he was not satisfied initially. So I had to again and again explain him that, oh yes, sir, these are the reasons what I have. I'm not going to change my statements just to satisfy that, okay, this is the reason that would look good or I would not get judged. So interview went on pretty smoothly. Certain GK questions were asked. One of them, I think I was fooled to answer. Sir asked me, what is the thing that connects India and Sri Lanka? So I don't know what happened. The first answer that came to my mind was Ram Setu. So sir laughed at that. He stopped the interview for 1 minute and he was like, wait, let me have my time now. So there was another person sitting in our interview room. He was there for educational purposes. He also left his pen and he also started laughing. So for 1 minute that happened. So that what happened due to that was that the entire pressure went away from me. That, okay, now nothing bad can happen more than this. Now I'm pretty calm and relaxed. So sir was like, okay, so have you ever heard about Park Street? Yes, sir, I've heard about it, sir. So what is it? So I knew that at that point, if I had given half information, then sir would have asked more about that. So I clearly told him, sir, that I do, I've heard about it, sir, but I do not know exact information and I'll have to read about it. So he specifically told me at that time that please do read about it, beta, because I'm going to ask this question in conference as well. So certain things happened during my interview, but it was a very good interview. I was satisfied after my interview that, okay, it went pretty well, at least better than the last one that I had given. So then I went back to my room and next day was our conference. In conference, I was made to wait around 10-12 minutes. And then as soon as I entered the conference room, the first question that was asked to me was, so you wanted to become a doctor? What happened? Why do you want to join the forces now? So I told them, no, sir, I wanted to join as a doctor only. Like I wanted to join army as a doctor initially. So he was not satisfied that no, there was some other reason. So I again had to explain the entire thing that no, sir, these were my plans. So he told me you did not give AFMC and all. So my interviewing officer interrupted at that time and he told him that no, sir, he had given his AFMC and every examination. It qualified them, but there were some other reasons. There were some financial reasons, but he was not able to do it. Then another question that was like a surprise to me was, he asked me, why do you look so fat in your photo? Because I had put on a photo that was pretty old, around 7-8 months old. So he was like, why do you look so fat in the photo? So I told him, sir, that I was around 95 kgs at that time, and it is a pretty old photo. So sir was like, no, it is not possible. How can you be 95? So I had to do the entire process again of explaining him that no, sir, these were the reasons that I was eating a lot, and since I was not doing a lot of physical activity, so that's why I had gained a lot of weight. So my conference went on for around 6-7 minutes, but it was a very good conference. After the conference, I was pretty much confident that yes, there are chances that I can get recommended. But after that, I went to the hall that was given to us. I was pretty relaxed at that point as well. So since I was session number 24 and we were 25 people, so I had to wait after my conference because it was going in the reverse order from 25 to 1. So then after 15-20 minutes, sir came in. The usual formal talks happened. And he told us that now I'll be calling out the chest numbers. You have to give your roll number and name. So he called out chest number 24. I gave my roll number, name, and his only statement that he gave was that congratulations, you have been recommended, and he left. So everyone is shocked. Everyone was shocked that only one has got recommended. I was happy, but also shocked because I was thinking that it will be a batch washout, most probably. So getting recommended was a surprise for me as well, that okay. So that was pretty much my, after that, the documentation process happened and the medical part happened. And rest, you know that right now I'm medically unfit.
Rohit, congratulations.
Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Rohit, first question, very important for the information of all of us. Tell us about your weight reduction and fitness improvement.
So, sir, it was a process that was divided over a period of around 2.5 years, sir. So as I told that, like my brother was an initial motivation because after I had left my medical fields and I decided to join the forces, the first thing that he also told me that physical fitness is something that you are going to require. So you need to work on that. So I knew that 2 years of my college are left. So I can work on my fitness for the next 2 years, and later on I'll not have to do that immediately. So I started working on my fitness initially only by doing exercises. I was not focusing much on my diet at that time. But after around 8-9 months, when my body became comfortable with proper high intensity exercises, then I also started to work on my diet because I knew that without diet, the results are not showing up. So once I had fixed my diet, sir, I was able to reduce around 35 kgs, sir.
नहीं, थोड़ा रोहित ये और बताओ, देखो आप तो जानते हो, ये बाकी सब नहीं समझते हैं, थोड़ा एक्सरसाइज में भी बताओ कितना टाइम लगा आपको इंटेंसिटी इंक्रीज करने में, इंजरी ना हो, पहले ये इश्यू होते हैं, उसके बाद में जब इंटेंसिटी बढ़ाई तो कैसे बढ़ाई, एक दिन में एक सेशन करते थे, 2 सेशन करते थे, डाइट में किन चीजों का ख्याल रखा?
So sir, initially
people, you know the thing, but they have to understand, you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So initially when I started, I was not into cardio much. I was only focusing on weight training at that time because I knew the weight is so much that if I start doing cardio right now, my knees will take a beating at that point and I will somehow go into injury part. So I focused initially to reduce around 7-8 kgs just by weight training because I was doing weight training earlier as well. But since the diet was not on point, so obviously I was not seeing results. And since there was a calorie surplus, so I was, in fact, my weight was constantly increasing. So once I had lost around 7-8 kgs, then I started focusing on my cardio a bit. Initially, when I started, I had 2 training sessions. One was for the cardio session that I used to do early in the morning for around 2 to 3 kilometers run. Because that was something that I could do without getting any injury. Then once I had done that, in evenings, I used to have a 2-hour weight training session. So since I used to enjoy weight training, so that was not a major problem for me. Once a period of around 1 year had went by, so then I got introduced to CrossFit. Because then I had changed my gym and I went into a gym which was more CrossFit based. So this was something new for me. Once I joined it, I realized that, okay, this is something which I'm enjoying, and it includes both the parts, the cardio part as well as the weight training part. So I knew that even if I'll have to join the academy, this is the requirement that is going to be there. I'll have to be physically fit, both in terms of strength as well as in terms of cardiovascular strength. So then I started working on that part, that, okay, well, if I start working on my cardiovascular, on my CrossFit part, I'll gain both of them. But since I'd lost around 15 kgs till that point, I was around 80 to 83 kgs when I like properly started training for my cardio sessions as well separately. Once I was like into CrossFit, the morning sessions were used to be around 5 kilometers run, and then around 3 hours of CrossFit session, which included basic box jumps, burpees, rowing, and all the other exercises that I included in CrossFit, sir. Then once I had reached around 80 kgs, then I decided that, okay, now to reduce further weight, I'll have to break the plateau that the body has reached at this point. So I started focusing on my diet as well from that point. I started counting the exact number of carbs that I was having. I increased my protein intake. Now, since I'm not a vegetarian, so like managing my protein amount was a challenge for me at that time. So what I used to do was that I used to eat a lot of sprouts, and I also used to take some supplements in terms of protein supplements that I used to take just to fulfill my overall protein requirements. So after my diet was in control, sir, I was able to reach around 72, 73 kgs. So at that point, I joined NFA, and you told me that I need to reduce around 5 more kgs. So then I increased my intensity a bit more, just to like save myself from the injury part. And before that, sir, during the lockdown, since the gyms were closed and I was not able to go outside, so CrossFit was the thing that helped me, because that did not require any kind of equipment. I had basic 2 dumbbells at home that I used to use, and from that also I was able to reduce around 8-9 kgs.
Any need you felt, or you were taking things like vitamin B complex, vitamin D, calcium, because whenever
Yes,
you
sir.
go on a strict diet and all such things tend to deplete in your body, these problems come
Yes.
up.
Yes, so 3 things were there, sir. First one was multivitamins. Second was omega-3. That is the fish oil that you can take. If you eat fish, then you do not need to take it. But since I was a vegetarian, so I had to take it from that part to take care of my joints. And the third thing was cholecalciferol. That is the vitamin D3. Because that was something that I used to take 1 tablet in a week just to maintain my overall joint health. These were the 3 supplements that I was taking, sir. Nothing other than that.
Okay, good. Now that we have settled the fitness department, now there is something which is still continuation of the fitness aspect only.
Yes, sir.
Once you improved your overall fitness, how did it influence your confidence overall from the perspective, not just SSB, but from the perspective of life itself?
Sir, it had played a major role, because while I was overweight, definitely the confidence was very low. Because of course I was not feeling not very happy with my body, because I was not able to move it the way that I wanted to. So once I had got fit, and of course I was seeing those changes not only like in the mirror, but also in the clothes that I was wearing. I was able to see those changes everywhere, and it was overall also affecting my confidence in the way I was carrying myself, or the way I was speaking and talking. Everything changed once I moved that part, sir. Definitely, yes, fitness played a very huge role in confidence.
Did the influence continue in all facets of the SSB test also?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because once you know that yes, you are fit enough, so at least you are not worried about something that you will not be able to do. Otherwise, if you are not fit, so at the back of mind, you constantly keep on thinking that, okay, there might be some tasks that I might not be able to do because of my fitness, or because of my lack of confidence, or because of my personality, or maybe the assessors would think that he's so fat, he doesn't take care of his fitness. So I think once that part is sorted, sir, a lot of issues are sorted out, sir.
Good. If I say that your confidence for the SSB was to a large extent, in absolute consonance with the preparation you had done, physical, mental, and all that.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes, sir. I think like initially, even after I was fit, there was some lack of confidence which I had faced during my first SSB, sir. But once I had joined NFA, you took my interview. Once you had said that you are fit to get recommended, that was a major confidence boost for me. That okay, you have the skills. You just have to maintain your calmness at that point. You will be able to do that. Work on the individual tasks that are going to be there. And do not focus on the result. That was the major thing that I was constantly telling myself, that recommendation is not in your hand. Please do not think about the assessment part. So that was overall playing a role in confidence as well, sir. And yes, the overall confidence, yes, sir, definitely it played a huge role in SSB, sir. Well, everywhere, even it being lecturate or giving points during the GD, if you're not confident enough, sir, I don't think we are able to give points at that time.
Good. लेकिन जो आपने काम लेक्चरेट में किया कि पहले एक टॉपिक, फिर उसके बाद दूसरा टॉपिक, फिर उसके बाद तीसरे टॉपिक में मैं तुम्हारे कान पकड़वाता.
Yes, I think
in future.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
Make your decision. You know, when I heard this thing, I was reminded of Brad Gilbert. Brad Gilbert is someone you may not have heard. I think nobody would have heard, unless somebody is a tennis buff like me. Brad Gilbert was the coach of Andre Agassi. Agassi, you would have all heard. Gilbert had beaten Agassi in a tournament, in a match, and thereafter he started coaching Agassi. He stopped playing tennis itself.
Yes,
and you know, he found out, he was just chatting with Agassi, and he realized that Agassi, once he has tossed the ball, he is still taking a decision कि सर्विस किधर मारनी है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he said कि ये बेवकूफ, इतना टैलेंट है इसमें, ये अब इतना मतलब बेवकूफी का काम कैजुअल होने के बाद भी he is, you know, among the top players in the world. So definitely, if I give him some of my brains, he'll become the #1 player in the world, and which actually happened.
Yes,
so ये बेवकूफियां जिंदगी में आगे मत करना.
Right, sir.
Because your competence was good, so you could have spoken on any topic. But
yes, sir. Yes.
You bloody well pick up your topic, बड़ी सोच समझ के एक बार decision लो, then prepare. समझ गया?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ये last time हो गई ये बेवकूफी. हाँ.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure, sir.
ठीक है. I have nothing else to ask or nothing else to say. You've done a good job. You have done all of us proud. You've done your family proud, and your brother definitely proud, who's a topper. Yes. And I'm sure you will join him in earning accolades in your life.
Yes.
Chalo, so we've had a good session. Rohit has given us very valuable inputs, and his journey itself, speaks for his accomplishment, which has been tremendous, and it's quite visible, his confidence, however things he has gone through. So it benefits all of us, and I have learned a lot from you, Rohit, definitely. And I wish that if I have had faced difficulties like you, I hope I can continue to maintain the cheer and confidence. That's good, yes, right? So please continue like this. Great, yes, thing. God bless. Take, yes, care, and all of you take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.